Senator Joe Manchin to support the Build Back Better Act, which gives Medicare the power to negotiate lower drug prices. Senator Manchin said he is with us in this fight, and West Virginia families are counting on him to deliver. It's time to pass Build Back Better now. Paid for by Protect Our Care.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy!
Yeah!
You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at doanford.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts. More live and local programming than anyone else in the Ohio Valley. The Watchdog returns in moments.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. Partly to mostly sunny skies, another cold day with a high near 32. The overnight low of 21 degrees under partly cloudy skies. You'll see mostly cloudy skies around for your Tuesday with highs in the mid to upper 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
13 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Feels like temperature is 7 at the airport. 9 degrees here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and it feels like 9. Not a lot of wind out there. 11 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Tiny bit of wind. The feels like temperature there is 10 degrees. We are looking for a warmer day today. We'll get up to around 34. We're at that time of year where that's technically warmer than we've had. Next couple of days is going to be in the mid-40s, so we're distinctly warming up. We do have the possibility of some weekend freezing rain coming in that Aaron says could create some road problems. Get a better sense of the timing of that later on. Probably rain begins on Wednesday, turns to some freezing rain on Thursday, and maybe a wintry mix, a little bit of snow even on Friday. Snow's not going to be the real issue. It's really going to be more of the freezing rain and those kind of problems on the area roadways. Of course, to the northeast, it was a doozy of a weekend this weekend. It passed us by. Big storm. I've seen all those different words used for it. A bombogenesis storm. What's the other word they used, Biff, for this big
cyclone?
Bomb cyclone. I guess they've had all kinds of,
No, that's it. The bomb cyclone.
Bomb cyclone, that's the word I was looking for. Phrase I was looking for. I guess it was a doozy. 33 inches of snow in Atlantic City, 20-some inches of snow in Boston. We were talking with Aaron last hour about, people say, I want more snow. That means, 3 inches isn't enough. How about 5, okay? You say you want more snow? How about 33 inches? I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And what do you do in that kind of weather? Here's a reporter who went out into the blizzard in Boston to talk to a couple of guys on the road.
We just lost cable a little while ago, so that's why we went for a walk.
How long have you lived here for?
Like 20 years.
Where does this rank in terms of storms?
This was a pretty good one. Top 5.
Have you heard the news about Tom Brady?
Yes.
Not great.
I don't know. Is Gronk next then, I guess?
Where are you guys trying to go right now?
We're trying to find an open Dunkin' Donuts.
So, well, we don't have any cable. There's a bomb cyclone out here, but we're going to see if Dunkin's open. Which I guess I get that, What are you going to do with a snowstorm, right, Biff?
So what do you do? Sit in
Dunkin'.
sit in Dunkin', drink some coffee, eat a couple donuts, maybe use their Wi-Fi for your laptop. I mean, what do you do in there? There's only so much time you can spend in a Dunkin'.
Yeah, well, and apparently, according to the reporter, spend some time tracking down the rumor that Tom Brady's retiring.
Yeah, what's
I'm thinking about how that tells you how big a deal Brady is, though, because there's this gigantic storm, feet of snow, winds are blowing almost hurricane-like. Their power is out, their cable is out. They're on their way to try to find Duncan, and she says, "Oh, by the way, have you heard about Brady?"
I mean, I believe he did play 20 seasons in New England, so I could kind of see why you would ask about him, but I mean, that's.
I'm just thinking it's perspective or priorities, Your power is out, your cable is out. There's hurricane-like winds blowing around. You got feet of snow all around you, and by the way, did you hear about Brady? But I guess. What else are you going to do, right? Talk about Brady. I guess. I don't know.
Talk about where they got their
And we're
information
still waiting
from.
to find out if he's retired or not. Yeah, well, that's right. Where did you get your information from? And could you share that with us? Because we're, we still aren't sure if he retired or didn't retire. Who was it? ESPN broke the news first on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was Adam Schefter from ESPN, who I believe earlier in the NFL season may have been, I forget what story or something happened, and I think he was early on that too, and I think it may have backfired on him. So if this is the second time in a row for Schefter, you talk about credibility loss here a little bit.
If I had to guess, and I'm just guessing here, obviously, but if I had to guess, I would guess that we will discover that Brady has decided to retire. I just think it's not, and I suspect that ESPN had it right, just had it too early, that Brady didn't want it out until he had done some other, I called it due diligence last hour, had the conversation with his family, had the conversation with the team, had the conversation with other people that it's important to. Maybe. I'm wrong. I don't know. Again, right now, my point is this. I find it funny. In the midst of this gigantic blizzard, what do you think about Brady? All right, it's 8:17 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Do you realize, Biff, January is over? Today's the last day of January. 2022 has already gone through the first month of the year. Can you believe that?
It flew.
I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to me. Here we are, the month of January is over and done with. And almost half of it has been spent in snow time, right?
Yeah, pretty
not
much.
Quite half, but almost half of the month has been spent in snow time, yeah. And, it's always a time to ask yourself, have you done what you planned to do 1/12 of the way through the year?
Well, it's the last day of January. Remember when you said this was the year you were going to change? 2022 was the year you were going to transform? One month down, 11 to go. Good luck in February, hotshot.
And that's why I just don't even bother anymore, Biff. No resolutions. No, my life is going to change. I just go through my life. But it is the last day of January. So if you did have like a schedule you were working on, keep in mind the year is 1/12 done already. It's 8:18 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. What are we doing today? Filing deadline in West Virginia has passed for candidates. In a minute or two, I'm going to look at how many of the local and statewide races are shaping up. There were some surprises that came out over the weekend, and there conceivably could be more surprises coming today because postmarks on Saturday night still count if they're postmarked, and they could be coming in the mail to the Secretary of State's office today. So we'll take a look at how it looks as if the primary races are shaping up. Mountain State legislators are looking at some interesting bills, including one that would ban smoking in your own car if you have a kid in the car. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, the gossip down in Charleston around the State House is that now that the filing deadline has gone, Republican leadership will take a look and see how much trouble they may be in the primary, and if they're not worried about candidates running against them, then they may start looking for more of these social value issues to push in the legislature. I have said, Stephen and Brad have both said as they've been on with us, I think even Stephen Baldwin said, the minority leader, when he was on with us, it's been kind of a strange session so far. You expected more activity, and other than the big economic announcements in the beginning and a lot of talk about the pro-abortion or anti-abortion bill, there hasn't been much. There's a lot of talk that the folks were waiting for the filing season to be over with, so we'll see what comes after that. Continuing in West Virginia, Bette Midler bakeries and more baby dog backlash as the national media took the weekend to spread our governor's dog's arse all across the country. Right on the heels of legalizing moonshine comes baby dog's butt. It's a good image for West Virginia. Bengals in the Super Bowl for the first time since 1989. We've been talking about the Super Bowl. Former Clinton advisor Jim Carville continues his harangue against his fellow Democrats. He says they're just not being realistic. They need to readjust their attitude. Trump told a weekend rally he wanted Mike Pence to overturn Biden's election. We'll get into that. And tipping is up. I want to say post-pandemic. It isn't really post-pandemic, but we're following through the pandemic, and during that time, tipping actually has gone up. I came across some numbers over the weekend, and I will share them with you. So that's what I have for you. Share your thoughts with me at 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, or the CityNet hotline, 304-232-8255. It's 8:21. We'll check the Capitol report and look at some of the local election filings coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show.
Coming up on Metro News Hotline.
On the Monday edition.
John Kosick.
614-470-2000.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
Babies come with lots of decisions.
Cloth or disposable? Crib or bassinet?
So when it comes to protection, go with the safest, most effective choice, vaccination. Get all the recommended vaccines for your baby by age 2 to protect your child against 14 serious childhood diseases. For more reasons to vaccinate, talk to your child's doctor. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 800-CDC-INFO. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
The new year is here, and so are the new Toyotas. So visit your dealer and reserve yours today. Like the all-new Tundra, redesigned from the ground up and engineered for uncompromising power. Or explore the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Visit your Toyota dealer today or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end January 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
We don't run down at sundown. For sports talk all night, listen to WKKX. For political conversation, tune to WVLY. And it's all online at watchdognetwork.com and on your phone with TuneIn Radio.
He has his say. You can have yours. Text us or call us and join the conversation. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
13 at the airport, 10 at my home studios, 11 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Tony Caridi's got the Morning Mountaineer Report. That's coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Ohio Valley headlines in the Big 7 in just a couple of minutes. I want to take a look at the candidate filings here locally. Some of them very interesting, a couple of surprises I want to share with you. But first of all, let's take a look at what they're doing down in Charleston with our Morning Capital Report.
This is the Metro News Capital Report, brought to you by AARP West Virginia. AARP is your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARPWV or learn more at aarp.org/WV. Today's report in 60 seconds.
AARP is your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. A wise friend and fierce defender for everyone in West Virginia as you get older. With 250,000 members and communities in all 55 counties, AARP is working every day for you. We have financial tools and health guides to help make sure the good things in your life live as long as you do. We're working to protect your hard-earned money, sharing tips and tools to help you spot frauds and scams. At the same time, AARP is advocating on behalf of West Virginians 50-plus and their families at the state capitol. Every day, we're supporting family caregivers, fighting for things like better high-speed internet access across the state. And we're sharing the latest coronavirus information to help keep you and your family safe. Everyone in the Mountain State needs someone in their corner. That someone is AARP. For more information, connect with us on social media at AARP West Virginia or find us online at aarp.org/WV.
Montague County Delegate Barbara Fleshauer hopeful the Senate will pass a measure to lower diabetes costs. The House of Delegates passing House Bill 4252 last week, which would cap the cost of a 30-day supply of insulin at $35, as well as limit the price of medical devices. Fleshauer says she thinks the Senate will have few issues with the idea.
I hope we don't have a hard time, because I think this was very bipartisan in the House, and I think the public wants us to solve problems together.
The Senate Health and Human Resources Committee will consider the bill first. Debate will continue at the state capitol regarding a measure allowing nuclear energy production in the Mountain State. The Senate approving a bill last week reversing the statewide ban. Both business groups and environmental advocates split on the idea. West Virginia Coal Association President Chris Hamilton during a public hearing Friday.
West Virginia and this capital has always been a safe haven for our miners and their families. Today they wake up to news that nuclear power is coming to West Virginia.
The House of Delegates considering a bill similar to the Senate measure. I'm Alex Thomas for Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
More discussion of the things going on down in Charleston coming up today on Statewide Talk Line. Hoppy will have Brad McElhenney in, and they'll be kicking some of these issues around. Biff, there are a couple of things that are pending in Charleston. I'm curious your take on. One of them is a bill introduced by a couple of senators in the legislature that would penalize adults if they smoked with children in the car. Now, I get where they're going with this. Secondhand smoke is a bad thing. I speak from experience. I had lung cancer back in 1980-ish, and I never smoked. My dad was a heavy smoker. The assumption is it was because of secondhand smoke from him. So I get where they're coming from. Adults who smoke around kids are causing potential health problems for kids. But is it okay to can the government ban smoking in your car? And if they can in your car, the next question would be, can they ban smoking in your home? I just have some mixed feelings about this. What do you think, Biff?
Yeah, I think it's one of those issues where, okay, if you do ban it in the car, how far down are we going to go? I mean, when's it going to stop? Like you said, are they going to go to the home next? Are they going to go here? Or I mean, how far are we going to go on this? But I mean, I could see why they want to do it because, you know, kids can't defend themselves. You know, I mean, they're just, so I could see why they would want to do it. But then again, where's that line to, okay, it's got to stop at a certain point, because if it doesn't, who knows how far, you know, they'll take it. So, yeah, I mean, I get the idea of why they want to do it, but how, you know, what is it going to lead to? Is it going to lead to more of, you know, trying to ban it in other places here and there? I just, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And by the way, I don't know that the answer to is it going to lead to banning in other places is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I have such mixed feelings about this. I have a strong belief in right of personal property, okay? My home is my castle. My car is kind of an extension of my home. It's like my castle on wheels. So, I'm 1,000%, 10,000%, 1,000,000% in favor of banning smoking in public places. I am 1,000% in banning smoking in restaurants. I'm 1,000% in banning smoking in any public place, because I think that is the government's business, the public's business. But philosophically, from a constitutional point of view,
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at
talking about a misdemeanor, at least right now. Oh. Did you lose me, Biffy? Okay. It must have been a quick drop, because I didn't even see I'm still green here, so must have turned yellow quickly and back again. Right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go through the break, and then I'll come back and lecture some more. And if I do it again and I get cut off again, then I'm going to assume that somebody doesn't just want me to say that, and so I'll just move on. Okay. Yeah, I thought, hey, I'm on a roll here, and all of a sudden I heard the intro. I looked at my phone. It's nope, I'm still connected. So it must have just been a quick blip and a drop. It's all right.
Ridge Apartments in Princeton. Brown was transported to a hospital in Charleston, where he later died from his injuries. That was a look at your headlines. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
A big Monday opportunity for the Mountaineers as they try to snap their losing streak against the Baylor Bears. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
At Kroger, fresh groceries are our thing. So we do freshness checks on the items in your delivery order at every step of their journey from our farms to our stores. And pick and pack every blue, raz, and strawberry in your free pickup order with the utmost care. Because we believe in treating your food the same way we'd want ours to be treated. It's the golden rule, only for like fresh fruit and stuff. Order now using the mobile app. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
42 million Americans struggle with hunger, yet 35% of the food in this country is wasted. Those aren't just numbers, they're our neighbors, your daughter's friend from school, the family of 4 next door. The Kroger Company's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation is committed to making fresh food accessible to all by ensuring it never goes to waste. Together, we can help end hunger. Learn more at zerohunger.zerowastefoundation.org.
An opportunity on the big Monday stage tonight for West Virginia as they take on the defending national champion Baylor Bears in Waco. It will be the second regular season encounter between the two teams. West Virginia enters into the game on a 5-game losing streak after Saturday's 77-68 loss to the Razorbacks of Arkansas in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Bob Huggins saying after the game that he detests losing, but was encouraged by his team's effort. West Virginia trailed by as many as 19 points in the second half and then rallied to draw to within 5 points. But then West Virginia's Achilles heel, its shooting, went away, and West Virginia falls by 9 points. For the game, the Mountaineers shot just 38% from the field and just 27% from three-point range. Key statistics in the matchup against Arkansas saw the Razorbacks outscore West Virginia by 13 points at the foul line. Arkansas making 28 out of 34. West Virginia hitting just 15 of 21. And when it came to rebounding, West Virginia was dominated on the glass, out-rebounded by the Razorbacks 44-26, an 18 rebound advantage. So the Mountaineers will try to get things going again tonight as they take on Baylor. West Virginia looking again for another big performance from Kedrian Johnson, who exploded back on Saturday with a career-high 18 points. We're on the air this evening beginning at 8 o'clock from Waco, opening tip set for 9. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield.
When I started at Mountain View Solar, I was placed on the installation crew, and I was very green to anything construction related.
Henry Gill Newton from Berkeley Springs.
Within about a year, I was able to run a crew and go out to jobs. I think it's time that we start working towards creating new infrastructure that can renew itself within seconds and maintain itself through years and years to come.
Paid for by Environmental Defense Fund.
Hi, it's Tony Caridi, host of the CityNet Statewide Sports Line right here on Metro News. Join the Senator, Brad Howe, Coach Greg Hunter, and myself as we discuss the day's biggest sports stories, talking with coaches, former players, and sports writers from all over the state and across the nation, bringing you the latest from the high schools, colleges, and the pro game. So don't miss the CityNet statewide sports line weeknights at 6:06 here on the Metro News Radio Network and streaming live at WVMetronews.com.
Broadcasting from the Ohio Valley, talking about the Ohio Valley. We're live and local. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
You know, technical problems do happen, and we have them here. Channel 7 has them, NBC News has them, the big guys, the little guys. There always are some kind of a technical problem, a technical glitcheroofy that causes difficulty. So maybe we just had a technical problem there a minute or two ago. But sometimes, Biff, sometimes it seems to me that the technical problems, the disconnection when I'm ranting, happens at just the right time for my rants not to be heard. You know, I don't believe in these conspiracy theories. I'm not Alex Jones, after all, but sometimes I wonder, are the Republican leadership of the legislature, do they have some kind of jamming device? When I go too far down the road, do they better stop him now? And the next thing you know, I'm disconnected. Now, I know that's probably not the case. It's probably just a little technical glitch we had. But still, I was right in the midst of a good rant there, Biff.
I know, and all of a sudden it just went. Usually I get a warning or something, like I can tell when you got ready to start in mid-sentence, and all of a sudden it kind of surprised me. I look back and no meters are moving. Waiting, couple. Nope, not move. Okay, well, that's it. But I'm wondering if down in Charleston, excuse me, losing my voice there. If they have, you know how they have the green button and the red button where they vote, they do yes or no.
You might be right.
They might have that other button. I think they have another one that lights up when it says it's time, and then somebody does something, and then that makes it go off. It's the third button that only certain people have.
Yeah, you know, does Craig Blair sitting in his office this morning getting ready for the session of the legislature of the Senate, does Blair get a little beep, 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 beep? Uh-oh, Monroe's off on a rant. Better push the brown button. You know, I don't know. Or is it in the governor's office? You know, does Roman Stauffer in the governor's office go, I'm not letting him do that. I'll poop, poop, and just cut me off. I don't really believe that. I'm sure it was just a little technical glitch. Still, it just seems strange right when I was ranting. So at 8:41, 19 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show, what I was ranting about is a bill in the legislature that would prohibit smoking in your own car if you have someone under the age of 16 in the car with you. It would make it a misdemeanor to smoke in your own car with a kid in the car. And I was making the point that I have differing points of view on this because I'm a firm believer in the right of private property. I do believe that your home is your castle and your car is your castle on wheels. And you ought to be free from interference in those places. On the other hand, I am always protective of children, and I am aware that secondhand smoke can be a real serious problem. And I'm aware of that because I am a victim of it. I was a victim of it. I had lung cancer, and it came about never smoking, but simply, I think, because I was in environments where smoking was always around. In the early days of my career, every broadcaster smoked, and my dad smoked, and it was just, you know. So I have very mixed feelings about this. The bill passed out of the Health and Human Resources Committee in the Senate on Thursday, goes on for review by the Judiciary Committee today. If you want to follow it on one of the bill trackers that a lot of you might use in West Virginia, Senate Bill 139 is the bill. There are some legislators who are saying it's a good idea, Republicans. Others are saying it really is an intrusion into private rights. And I got to admit, I just don't know. I'm like you, Biff. I see the value of protecting children. I always believe protecting children is really critical. I think I would say a firm no if it was a bill to simply prohibit smoking in your car. But it's only to prohibit smoking in your car if someone 16 or younger is in the car with you. And I guess I do understand that. So we'll see. Goes to the Judiciary Committee this week. I have not talked to Brad or Stephen or anybody about how likely this is to pass, but it has passed out of one committee, moving to another in the Senate down in Charleston. It's 8:43, 17 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Really, my top of the morning story this morning has to do with our upcoming May primary and the candidate filings that now are almost completely done. So let's take a look at this spiffy top of the morning this morning.
Top of the morning to you. These are the big stories making news and conversation today on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Saturday night at midnight was the candidate filing deadline in West Virginia. You must have filed in person or have postmarked your filing for a candidacy by Saturday at midnight. There will be some coming in today, tomorrow, people who filed online, not online, but filed in the mail, postmarked it in time, and have not yet been received. So some of these matchups could change a little bit. But there are some that I think we've got a pretty good feel for. In the first senatorial district, the district that had been represented by Bill Ehlenfeld until he went back to the federal prosecutor's office, it looks like, doesn't look like, there is going to be a Democratic primary. Senator Owens Brown from Ohio County, who had been appointed the replacement for Bill Ehlenfeld by the Democratic committee here in the county and then selected out of a group of 3 by the governor. Senator Owens Brown has filed to run for the seat on a permanent basis. So he is one of the Democrats running in Ohio County. It is interesting. I was under the impression when he was appointed that he was likely not going to run for the seat, although early on when I talked to him on the air, Senator Brown was clear in saying, I haven't made up my mind yet. He has made up his mind. He has filed. He is running for the seat on a permanent basis. Also running for the Democratic nomination for that first senatorial district seat is former Delegate Randy Schwartzmiller of Hancock County, another quite well-known figure. He ran, I guess it was for the Senate last time too, right? So he is a well-known political figure in the Panhandle, has been a delegate, ran for the Senate. He is going to run for the nomination against Owens Brown. That to me is going to be interesting. Randy brings legislative experience. Owens has been making some waves in Charleston in a good way. I thought when he would go down there simply as the appointed senator that he would be relatively quiet, but he has not been. He's been very vocal down there. So that's going to be an interesting race. That is one of the big ones now. So there will be a Democratic primary for the first senatorial district, Owens Brown and Randy Schwartzmiller. Also, there will be a Republican primary for the first senatorial district. We've heard about Laura Wacom Chapman, who is the daughter of Chris Wacom, who had been involved in politics fairly aggressively a decade or so ago. His daughter Laura has announced some time ago she was going to run. She has officially filed. And Judy Varner Meyer, also of Wheeling, has filed to run for that seat as well. So there will be a Republican primary for the Senate seat as well. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Now, the delegate seats are the ones that I find interesting. Keep in mind that there's been a big change in the districts for delegates in West Virginia. All of the districts were redistricted. They look different now than they did before. We are now in single delegate districts. Each district will only have one delegate. Prior to that, for example, Essentially, Ohio County was the third delegate district, and in that third district, we had 2 elected members. They have been for the last number of elections, Erica Storch and Sean Fluharty. They were the 2. But now we can only have 1 from any given district. Interestingly enough, Fluharty and Storch were put into 2 separate districts in Ohio County. So instead of being required to fight against each other, they each could run independently. Erica Storch had said early on and filed relatively early on to run for re-election. Sean Fluharty, I wasn't sure what he was going to do. There's been a lot of talk. The puppet master was interested in the state Senate seat. He had told us that here on this show months and months ago. And I talked to a lot of people inside the Democratic Party, and they just weren't sure either which way Sean was going to go. He hasn't responded to my texts recently to come on the show, and I'm guessing it's because he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. But on Friday of last week, this past Friday, Sean Fluharty filed to run for essentially his old seat. I think he is in District 5, and so he has filed to run for that seat. And he was the only person filing to run for that seat, so we thought that would be he would be the nominee for the fall. But apparently, according to reports, Ohio County's Republican Party Chairman Elgin McCardle has said that her daughter, Brooke McCardle, did mail her candidacy papers in, and she's seeking the GOP nomination to the District 5 seat. Now, Brooke McCardle was 22 years old, a student, a hockey player at Elmira College in Elmira, New York. She says she's going to move back to the area after graduating. She mailed her papers in time over the weekend to get to the Secretary of State's office assuming by today. I don't know how Sean feels about this, Biff, by the way. The Morning Intel today says that, where's the phrase here? That the District 5 is now taking a youthful bent because the younger McCardle was in there. I think the implication there is that Sean's not the young guy anymore.
Sean, the old guy now, or what?
I think that's what. Who wrote this? Jocelyn. I think that's the implication of Jocelyn King's story. The race representing downtown Wheeling and its riverfront areas now has a youthful twist. And that's when they mentioned that the young McCardle is filing there. So we now have a primary for the seat that Sean Fluharty has held, or essentially that he has held. And he will have a challenger in the fall, at least, with a Republican. Now, the other seat is the Erica Storch seat. And again, on Friday, it looked like Erica would probably be sitting there all alone by herself and would be walking into the seat once again. But I talked over the weekend to a lady that we all know here on this station, Biffy, that you and I know fairly well. The lawyer with a gun.
Yeah.
Teresa Torreseva, who tells me that she has filed her candidacy papers in the mail. She mailed them on Thursday, so there's no, I think it was Thursday or Friday. Saturday was the deadline. She did not mail them at the deadline. She mailed them at least a day or two before. So she has filed her candidacy papers to run for, or against, if you will, Erica Storch, to run for that seat in District 4, where Erica Storch has filed. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Teresa Torreseva, well-known attorney, deeply involved in politics as an outside commentator and an outside, that's what I'm looking for. She's helped with many campaigns, let's put it that way. So she says that she's going to run for the House seat, motivated by my love for the Northern Panhandle and dedicated to this place as a business owner, property owner, a parent, and a citizen. Teresa with us tomorrow here on the show to talk about why she chose to run and the things that she'd like to run on and the issues she wants to run for. So, not primaries, but we will have a fall race for both what I'm going to call the Storch seat right now, running against Teresa Torreseva, and the Fluharty seat, running against the young McCardle. Those are, quite frankly, both a bit of a surprise to me since the last time we all talked together here. I think it's kind of interesting. Now, we have said, Biffy, by the way, it's 7 till the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show, and we're looking at 13 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Biff, we have said on the show many times, it is likely that the biggest race of the area is going to be, of the state really, is going to be the Republican primary for the 2nd Congressional District. It is the district that currently is represented partly by Alex Mooney, partly by David McKinley. After the redistricting, the two of them, these two incumbent Republicans, are now having to go against each other. And we've talked about that a lot. We've talked to both Dave McKinley and Alex Mooney here on the show. We've discussed the advertising that's already underway, so there's a good bit of that going on. What is interesting to me is that they are not the only Republicans in the race. As of the filing deadline on Saturday, and assuming no more come in the mail today or tomorrow, Susan Busher Luchocki from Morgantown is running for the Republican nomination. Rhonda Hercules of Wheeling is running for the Republican nomination. And Mike Seckman of West Union, all running for the Republican nomination. So now you have, what is that, a total of 5?
I think 5.
5. Now you got a total of 5 people running for that. Now it's not just Mooney versus McKinley. There's no question they are the two top-tier candidates. But the question always becomes, Biff, when you get other names in the race, they'll take votes from somewhere, right?
Yeah, this is where you look at, okay, you try and divide it by the district. You try and divide it? Is that even divide? Divide, man. You can tell it's a Monday. You divide it by, okay, where's this person going to steal from? How much of the percentage they going to get? What actually is the percentage going to be for the person that ends up winning? Is it going to be a small percentage? Is it going to be below a certain number to win it? So now this just got more interesting, and you start playing the numbers game and going and taking it that way.
Dave McKinley has had, I've said all along, the advantage of geography. More of this new 2nd district is from his old 1st district than it is of Mooney. So the people in the 2nd district, more of them have already voted for, or at least have had Dave McKinley as their rep in the past. So he has the advantage of geography. But look at where these other candidates are coming from, Biff.
Morgantown.
Morgantown and Wheeling. Where's West Union? Is that the Morgantown area?
I'm not sure. I might have to look.
Take a look at that. But at least 2 of the 3, if not all 3, are from what is now the 1st district, McKinley's base support in this new 2nd district. So just based on that and that alone, you got to figure they are more likely to take from McKinley than they are from Mooney. I think.
West Union is the one of the many football teams that I despise very much. Doddridge County.
Doddridge County, okay. So just based on geography, I think probably the additional names in the field are not necessarily good for Dave McKinley. We'll see how this plays out, and I'm going to get some better commentators than I am to offer some thoughts on this, but that's kind of interesting. So we've got Democratic and Republican primary for the state Senate seat. We have got no primary, but good battles for the 4th and 5th district delegate seats. We've got a bigger race for this congressional district, too, than we had thought. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Let me look through here. Anything else I want to really quickly get into? No primary contests in Ohio County at the county level. Randy Wharton, a Democrat, is running, but apparently at this moment unchallenged for the Democrat nomination. Dave Palmer, a Republican, unchallenged for the Republican nomination. They'll meet each other in the fall, but not on the primary race. 6 candidates for the school board race in Ohio County. It's not a primary, but it's a May election. Molly Adderhold and David Croft are the incumbents, those 2 incumbents, and they are running. And then newcomers Darren Cox, Andy Garber, Jessica Powers, and Ron Scott are all running for the school board in Ohio County. So that could be interesting as well. Several fairly well-known names there. In addition to the 2 incumbents, we know that Andy Garber had worked in the school system for a long time. Ron Scott, well-known here in the Upper Ohio Valley. So that race could be kind of interesting as well. So that's a look at where the candidate filings have been. And keep in mind, some of this could change again today or tomorrow, because folks who filed by mail, postmarked by midnight on Saturday, still could come in today, tomorrow, and be officially registered. So looking ahead towards the primary. Now, for a lot of you, it's like, oh my God, that was so boring, Howard. For those of us who are political junkies, this is kind of really interesting stuff. And for all of us, it should be really important stuff. All right, just about 9 o'clock here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Heading over to ABC for an update right now.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
Okie dokie.